Good afternoon everyone, it's Tom Sydney Bushnell, aka Numbers, here from Psych Club, from the Tom Numbers Show, News with Tom Numbers and Top of Your Game. And I'm doing a show of Tom by the sea. So I was here a couple of weeks ago. I did a commemorative show to Mike Shinton, who passed away. So rest in peace, Mike. But I've been thinking about a guy that's got a similar name to me, Clarence Thomas. So the judge. Clarence Thomas comes to 137 in numbers, which comes to 17th, which comes to Washington DC. It comes to President JFK, and it comes to Casino Royale, which is one of Juan's favourite codes. So maybe he's been telling us for a long time about Clarence Thomas. I guess with all of these things, time will tell, and we'll see how all the pieces fit together. But it's an interesting one because if you do Justice Clarence Thomas, Justice is 87, which is truth, which is stellar. There's a lot of things about lumens right now, kind of hidden in plain sight, but that's for another time. But if you do Justice Clarence Thomas, 87 plus 137, that comes to 224, and 224 is next year, 2024, if you drop the zero. Interesting how President Trump, just the other day, read out his campaign text number, and I've been talking about that for ages. And obviously 88 is Trump. Zero, drop the zero, and then you're left with 22 MAGA, deal. Add them together, comes to 110 president. But if you include the zero, which President Trump did, so 88022, zero is 64 in numbers, which is Tenet, which is movie, which is Israel, which is Zion, which is Jubilee. There's 64 squares on the Othello board, dark to light. But that comes to 174. So if you do 110 president plus 64, the zero, that comes to 174, which is real Donald Trump, which is currency exchange, which is also Supreme Court, which is also November 6th, which is the day of calm after November 5th in the Batman movie. Remember, Matthew Perry talked about Back to the Future, 176, which is November the 5th. He talked about Midnight Run, and he also talked about Batman, I'm Matman. And in that film, Batman, the Batman, that's 84, which is midnight. Everything happens in Madison Square Garden, which is down the road from, which is on Penn Street, follow the Penn, which is down the road from the New Yorker Hotel. Madison Square Garden, 205. Eileen Mary Adelaide Wood, that was my grandmother's birthday yesterday. She would have been 100. When we get into next year, 101, that's Immortal, that's Portals, Melchizedek, that's what she'll be next year, but she'll be back. Because I think the morning of the first resurrection will happen just prior. Maybe it'll be on her birthday for her, we'll see. I'm sure I'll be involved. But yeah, 174. Real Donald Trump, 174. Supreme Court, 174. And Clarence Thomas is an associate, which is 92 numbers, which is reverse 92. Which is Manhattan 92, and it all started there when I met Ivanka. There you go, get your Shungite. Shungite is 103, Princess. Orgonite is 103. Add them together is 206, quantum physics. This is super beneficial for you, so the links are below. And hundreds of my fans have purchased, so look at their testimonials in the descriptions, in the comments down below. So yeah, Supreme Court Justice. Which is Clarence Thomas. Makes me think of It's a Wonderful Life as well, the film, because you've got Clarence the angel, the guardian angel. There's a Clarence Bridge in Regent's Park where the first 3 years of this awakening process, I used to walk over most days, or across. I met a guy that looked just like Shane Warne not long after Shane passed, went into protection in my understanding. The guy spoke out a code that basically talked about when it's protection. But yeah, so if you do, let's look at this. If you do Supreme Court, Associate Judge, Supreme Court, sorry, Associate Justice, Supreme Court, Clarence Thomas, that comes to 490. Drop the 0, that's 49, that's yes, that's a crash, that's global. You've got yes, the 5th of November 246, which is in the twinkling of an eye. But if you do 490, so yeah, Associate Justice, Supreme Court, Clarence Thomas. Thomas is 76, a magic wand. President Trump said, I guess we have a magic wand. I guess we have a Thomas. Well, they've got one. And I don't understand all of the implications legally, but it seems like he's an important piece on the board right now. But if you do 490, that comes to 310 plus 180. And I've been telling you that 310th day of the year next year, which is the election of all elections that has been prophesied biblically in another change of thought. And they've chosen that election for a reason, that date, November 5th. And it's the only day we've been told to remember. And it's a week to remember because you've got Remembrance Sunday a week later, or Remembrance Day a week later on November 11th. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, that's 7 days. Yeah. And if you do, yeah, 310, 180. If you do 310, if you do 355, which is remember the 5th of November, plus 135, which is Terminator 2, Terminator 133 plus 2, and the 261 is in there. There's a 261 for Clarence Thomas. What is it? There's a 261, I did it earlier. I'll put it in the notes or it might pop into my head. Oh, I know what it is. Yeah, it's Supreme. It's Supreme Court Justice is 261, which is, yeah, there you go, 261. Supreme Court Justice is 261, which is what Clarence Thomas is. Yeah, 261. Supreme Court 174 plus Justice 87. That takes you to 261. Is that right? It is right, yeah. 261 is November 22nd. That's the date of Kennedy in 63. 261 is Mission Impossible mask. 261 is Houses of Parliament mask. Makes me think of Guy Fawkes. 261 is also News of Tom Numbers. Anna in Brazil, it's her full name, 261. 261 is also Diana's date, which is August 31st. 261 is the Project Looking Glass. 261 is the United States of America. 261 is also August 29th, which is the date of Judgment Day in Terminator 2. Terminator 2 is a 135. Ivana Trump is 135. John G. Trump is, well, John Trump is 135. He's involved in the whole Looking Glass project with Tesla. 261 is National Security Agency, and they've been telling you openly in films that they've been monitoring everything, good and bad. Well, they get the bad guys, they get the good guys. I believe the NSA is on the good side. In fact, they are. But yeah, it's all been laid out for us. So keep your eye on Judge Thomas. The interesting thing about this as well is a lot of films, when they have a judge on the stand, is quite often an African American, a black guy. Sometimes it's a black woman, but it's quite a lot. And so they might have been telling us subconsciously, watch out for Clarence Thomas. I think they have. So we'll see. As with all things, we will see. Anyway, everyone, much love, God bless. If you're on YouTube, watch, join my perks. You can watch early videos. You can do a Zoom call with me once a month, a group Zoom call if you join the top tier, and you get the loyalty badges. So get your shungite, get your orgonite, get your spooky 2 stuff, get your magnesium and your iodine, and all the other good stuff. All right, everyone, much love, God bless. I'll see you soon. Thanks, bye.